Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Bitcoin right now lost that level that we talked about yesterday, retesting it right now with a little OC retest action on it, guys. Looking at the bubbles, we got kind of a mixed market this morning. Right now on the daily, you can see there's quite a bit of red on here. Trumpcoin, I got to talk about Trump right there behind my head. Trump got my back on here. Trump ain't got my back on my investments. But Trumpcoin, he made an announcement about it, talking about 220, top 220 wallet holders, and it takes off and rolling again. Is that an insider trading? I don't know. Maybe it is. A lot of green here on the hourly, though, guys. We're going to be talking about this, taking a look at the economic data, taking a look at the TradFi markets, how they opened up this morning, and we did get a little bit of info from the data today. What was it? Hold on, let me go check. Jeez, Louise, it was the durable goods orders. We got to talk about why that number looks way better than it really is. All that and a whole lot more right here today on the Morning Market Report. You guys know what time it is. Let's get it. Class is in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report, the show where we bring you guys the news, the data, the headlines, the economy, macro stuff that you need to know to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit, but I don't do it alone. I got my partner in crime, the Mexican Superman, who's always eating. He's got to eat all those calories so he can be a superhero. What's up, OC guy? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic. You just got me at the end of it. I thought I would be skipping that one, but other than that, doing fantastic. Great coffee, great morning, great breakfast, great action price. I think today might be one of the best days ever.
The best day ever? No, best day ever is when we become multimillionaires on crypto.
Absolutely. But
today, or when you get married to MJ. I think MJ would challenge you for that. That today's the best day ever. So, here you go. You get some. I'll give you some hearts. There you go. Look, some hearts for you there, bro. Let's go give a shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Roman Brave in here, Cryptocoin Mindset, Keith in here joining us, Mike Bulmer, Ninja Glock. We got Alexander GGG, the best mod in the biz. We got username in here with us. Who else we got? We have on the Jesse Get Lucky, Jesse Gellick in the house with us. Appreciate you being here, man. He's giving all the shout outs too, man. I love it. BC Port Corp, good morning to you, man. Lunar Beaches Crypto, appreciate you being here. Calvin Lamont said, am I packing? Not packing yet, bro. I still got a Vegas Bitcoin conference to go to and everything before I move out of this house. So we don't close until June 2nd. So, but yeah, we did get the house. We're very happy for it. He actually lives about an hour and a half from where I'm moving to. So I'll get to go see Master Sergeant Calvin Lamont, my battle buddy from Afghanistan there. So that'll be cool. Who else? We got R.S. Miller in the house with us today. We got DDT. He said, "Ayo, fam, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?" Mike Play, appreciate you being here. Average Crypto Joe JR, and a whole lot more in this audience right now. About 22 of you. Yeah, we got low numbers today. I don't care. We're just gonna keep putting out the data. That's all we do. We'll grind on through. OC. So did you hear about this Trump thing that happened?
No, really. What happened? Fill me out.
So Trump put out this tweet, I guess it was, or maybe it was on Rumble, but he said, look, the top 220 wallet holders of Trump will get a dinner with me. And then all of a sudden it rallies and pumps out of nowhere. Look, who's going to go after him for that? The SEC, where he just put Paul Atkins in place at? Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Guys, let me know in the chat. What are your thoughts? Is this just blatant? Username at your birthday? Hold on, OC. We got to celebrate the birthday boy. Username. Happy birthday, dude. We appreciate you being here, man. Geez. Happy birthday, bro. Glad to have you here. All right, let's talk about this. Is this just blatant manipulation of the market? And would anybody else be under investigation by the SEC for something like this, using their position of power? Because I'll tell you, from the government side, we have this whole training that we have to do on ethics training. Every year we have to do this. And so we have to weigh every move we make on an official stance, in a capacity of an official position, and are we using it for gain, for personal, right? And so, like, I don't know. I just feel like the president should be held to some type of ethics, bylaws, and wondering like what can even happen to him. He's kind of stacked it for himself with his SEC picks and stuff. What's your thoughts on this? And let me hear it, guys, in the chat. What do you guys think about all of this? Does this just look wrong, or am I just way off base here? Am I too much of a Boy Scout from my time in the Army? OC, your thoughts, man?
No, I think you are spot on. I mean, I need to say that when he was unelected, running through elections, I was supporting him, right? I knew what kind of people he was. He already was a president, right? He wasn't anything as sharky or sharkish, if we can say so. But I mean, there was something going on before, which was the tariff, right? How he announced them. I believe that he was just showing across his bodies. And I think there was a video of some politicians saying, who's getting rich out of this, right? Trump's friends, Trump's whatever, he announces, then everybody buys, then he says not anymore, and everybody sells, right? I would say absolutely. I mean, this guy knows how to make business from one way to another. If you don't believe me, go check out how he came to create or stamp his name on some towers, right? So I think there's a lesson to be learned. Nonetheless, I think he's going to be judged by how well the economy plays out on the states. Because, and let's remember that people has a short memory. Here, Mexico, States, Russia, China, whatever,
true,
right? Yeah, people has a short memory. So as long as we came out on, or as long as the U.S. came out on profits, let's call it that, or as a win against this, whatever happens, it's gonna happen the same as Capitol happened, right? Somebody else is gonna hit a cannibal, and this guy's gonna came out clean. Does that? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to speak too much about an opinion, right? I just want to kind of lay out the facts. Is that right? I mean, is a double moral right? I mean, if he needs to get accountable.
Okay. All right, OC's freezing up on me, but yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this, what happens with it. Here's how I'm going to approach it. Right, we're aware of what's going on in the market. We know how things play out with crypto. I think that the day that they announce the winners of that dinner with Trump is a great time to put in a short on Trumpcoin. Because a lot of people bought in order to get that top 220 wallet. I'm pretty sure they're going to sell and take their profits as soon as they're able to, because they got notified that they're a ticket holder. So, yeah, might be a good time there to short Trumpcoin. Not financial advice. Let's go get into some news here, OC. Talk about what we're seeing over here, and I got some economic data, and I got like one headline. Oh no. There we go. Let's go talk about this first. OC, because I actually forgot I had an article on this. So Trump defies market correction with a double-digit surge. Bitcoin falls by $2,000. Let's go down here and talk about, I don't want to talk about the rally halt. Get rid of that banner. Thank you. I want to go talk about Trump. The big news on the cryptocurrency space yesterday came from the U.S. president's team, as the official Trump website stated that the top 220 holders of the meme coin will attend a special dinner with POTUS, the president of the United States. Naturally, the asset's price skyrocketed as investors rushed to buy it. On a daily scale, Trump is up by nearly 30%, but it went even higher yesterday. In contrast, most other altcoins turned red. XRP, Doge, HBAR, Pepe led the pack. Larger alts, while IMX has lost the most value from mid caps. So, yeah, we need to keep an eye on when he actually announces who's going to be those top 220, and that might be ideal time to short Trump coin. Let's go jump into the news, OC, and I just wanted to share that article real fast that I had there. Let's go see what we got on the macro side. We'll be right back with you, OC. All right, guys, taking a look here on the Into the Cryptoverse metrics. We do have right now the crypto market cap, total crypto market cap right now sitting at $2.907 trillion, trending at $3.749 trillion. So currently price is undervalued in all crypto market cap combined by 22.46, still sitting low there. Current risk band sitting at about 53%. And then looking at Bitcoin dominates with stables at 63.55, without stables at 68.94. Bitcoin getting a little bit of a run flow out of stables yesterday, guys. Let's go take a look at X and talk about what we got over here on X right now. So I started following this guy. It is Market Profit. Yes, it's a business. Yes, they have a pay thing, whatever. Not getting into all of that, but he does have some pretty interesting stuff because it actually showed at the bottom that the crowd and the market profit number was both very bearish, and it ended up going to the upside once it started to shift. So when it went to bullish on both of these, price was way down, and then boom, it shot up. So interesting to see this on Bitcoin right now being bearish. We could see some sell-off on Bitcoin, which I talked about yesterday, looking at the smart money sentiment versus crowd sentiment, both sitting about that 1.79, negative 1.79, negative 1.76. On the fear and greed index right now, Bitcoin is currently at 63, still in greed. Anything else on here? We'll talk about this after we go into the other data, guys. Looking at this for the 24-hour liquidations here on traders. In the past 24 hours, 127,515 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations came in at $276.95 million. Largest single liquidation order was on Binance. It was Ethereum. It was $2.58 million. Looking at the crypto bubbles here on the hourly, again, a little bit of a pullback there on Trump. Look at it on the daily. Boom, shakalaka. Let me get that sound effect. Boom, shakalaka. There we go. Let's go down and look at these prices, guys. Bitcoin right now currently sitting just under $93,000, down about 0.4% on the daily, regaining a little bit of a 0.1 on the hourly. Ethereum is down about 1.8% at 1766. Let's go see any big movers. XRP took a 3.1% hit on the daily, down to 218. Let's go see here. Let's go see. Doge, nope. Sui is still up. It's in the green, 1.9% to the upside, sitting at 308. Chainlink down about 1.6%, sitting at $14.73, way far off from $800. If you know, you know. Leo token up 1.8% still on the daily. It's at $9.19. No other real big movers here in the top 20. Everything's just kind of flat right now as everyone's holding their breath to see what Trump says. So let's go over here and look at the TradFi market. Give it a refreshy fresh. Let's go see what it's saying here for us. We got DJI, Dow Jones is currently up in about 0.16%. The S&P is up about 0.76%. NASDAQ's up about 1.3%. Tech sector giving a little push to the upside there. Russell 2K up about 0.5%. And the VIX still above 20, but in the red, just kind of chilling there. Let's go see the bond market. 10-year treasury yield is dropping a little bit, 4.3%, but not enough to make it of any interest for them to refinance. So this needs to go much lower if they're going to refinance that $9.2 trillion of debt that's coming up due for refinance or maturity this year. Let's go and see what the gold's looking like. Gold's getting an upside movement here, almost 1%. It's at 3,323 OC. Get that gold chart ready. We're going to have to see what it's saying to us, man. And oil above $60 a barrel. That is the market threshold for profitability per barrel. Mark Dutch is in the house. He said, Alex O Crypto sent me here. Shout out to the Otter Gang. Appreciate you all being here, man. You guys rock. We love it here. You get a boom shakalaka too. Appreciate the Otter Gang heading over here to us. All right. Nope, not going to go into that. Economic data. We'll go do this and then we'll get back on X marks the spot. So this morning, guys, we had durable goods orders that came in. Okay, it was at 0.9%. Consensus was that it would be 2. Forecast is that it would be 1.7. I told you guys yesterday, very likely would see this higher because a lot of people are front running the tariffs, right? Came in at 9.2%. But if we want to go dig in on it, we'll see here that a big percentage of this was off of non-defense aircraft and parts, okay, up 139% of it. And then there was another one on cars, I believe. If we go back here, you can take a look what that difference is. So 9.2%. Yeah, great number. I knew it was going to be higher than what was expected. However, when you look at durable goods orders, excluding transport, guys, big old goose egg, zero. Did not even meet the expectations. Came in flat, no change at all, which means a lot of it was those things that are being hit with the tariffs, and they were front running the purchases on that before they take place. So now we are seeing that this is just washing away with that big 0% there. We had initial jobless claims coming. 222,000 was what it was at. Previously, it was 216, came in at 222, I should say, which is right in line with consensus. I will point out, though, that this did go up from 215 to 216. So that this was an increase last week by 1,000 claims of unemployment than what they originally had. So 8 a.m. That should be refreshed. Let's go bring that up, see if we got that one. Yep. Existing home sales, guys, dropping hard this morning. 4.4% was the previous. Was this revised? It was. It was 4.2. They raised it to 4.4. Consensus would be down 3%. Forecasted would be negative 1.9%. Actually came in negative 5.9. Existing home sales just not happening. Why? Because mortgage rates are stupid right now, and no one wants to buy an existing home with those high rates. Just so you guys understand, shout out to Alex L. Crypto. I see you there, gang. Here, I want to point out the difference between existing homes. Existing homes, you're doing a conventional 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Hopefully it's fixed rate. You're going to go into that home based on what the tenure is plus your risk level, right? And so it's currently sitting at about 7% right now on the refi or on the finance rate for your mortgage. But if you go and you buy a new build, not an existing home like this, they bought like massive chunks of financing. And so they can bring that rate down because they did it before it pumped up. And they can give you a little bit better rate because they can do some, hey, we'll knock this off on the build to make it a little bit cheaper, right? They can get you to your price point and get you a cheaper mortgage rate. So right now, existing home sales not doing good at all. So that is what we got there on that. Let's go back to X marks the spot. Let's talk about this. So if you guys don't know what the Beige book is, the Fed released their Beige book. This happened this morning, and the Beige book is basically all the notes from all of the Fed reserves everywhere on how they're looking at the market. All of the bankers from all the Fed Reserve all get together and they do this whole book. And it comes out every month. It's a public release. So in the Fed's just released Beige book, tariffs were cited 107 times compared to 49 in March, 23 in January. Uncertainty, the word uncertainty was mentioned 89 times versus 45 in March and 13 in January. It was off the charts. It made history. Bam. With over half the U.S. economy now deemed to be either in stagnation or contraction mode, the report contained this little ditty regarding the future. The outlook in several districts worsened considerably as economic uncertainty, particularly surrounding tariffs, rose. So much for that roaring 20s narrative that somehow to this day still finds its way across various corners of the Wall Street research while receiving ongoing publicity on Bubble Vision. So, you guys can see a whole lot of numbers there on that one. What else is there? Guys, China said that they have not made any trade negotiations with the United States, contradicting President Trump's claims. We are expecting that we're going to see some news come out today from Trump announcing, responding to that. So be very aware of that you may get absolutely kicked in the gonads from some news there coming out of the White House today. Coinbase has partnered up with PayPal to advance stablecoin payments. I told you guys it's going to be huge, and I'm watching for what we will see come in off of Circle. I'm watching for that IPO launch. I keep telling you that. Stablecoins are going to be huge in the future. The New York services sector outlook is at a crisis levels, guys. This came out this morning based on the data that was just released. They aggregated some more, came up with this. Business climate expectations in the New York services area dropped to negative 50 points in April, the lowest since the great financial crisis of 2008. Economic conditions fell to negative 60.7, the lowest in 4 years, according to New York Business Leaders Survey. So, crushing it crushing it. Love it. Worse than it was in 2020 pandemic, getting down to the levels of 2008. We are in crisis mode. Bearish and bearish on the crowd and MP from the market profit on Ethereum. Bearish and bearish from the market profit on Solana right now for the smart money sentiment and crowd sentiment. This happened also. Hey, let's throw a little bit of dash of war on there, little war throw on there. I'm not happy with Russian strikes on Kiev. Not necessary and very bad timing. Vladimir, stop. 5,000 soldiers a week are unaliving. Let's get the peace deal done. So that came from Donald J. Trump. That just happened overnight. So not seeing any moves on the front of peace over there. And then Kabisi letter said the stock market futures fell as China says there are no ongoing talks with the U.S., which we already talked about. We're waiting for Trump to come back and make a comment on that. And that is all we have on X marks the spot, guys. Let's go look at the heat map real fast just so we can give you an update on this. And then we'll have OC come and compare these levels to what he's seeing on the chart. Get that Bitcoin ready. OC right now, though, guys, heat map, liquidation heat map for Bitcoin is telling us that it's loading. That's what it's telling us right now. You're going to load for me? This thing is just not cooperative sometimes. I think it's around $100,000, just so you know. The upside on this was at about $100,000. Take my word for it. I'll see if it loads, and we'll look at that. But it's, yeah, $80,000, $100,000, and somewhere around 84, I believe, was what it was showing on the 6 month. So we'll come back and we'll take a look at that in a moment. But OC, let's kick it over to you. Let's take a look at what you're looking at on the charts, and then I'll give you these numbers when it finally loads here on my chart.
Absolutely. Let's get started with Bitcoin here. Let me zoom out for a little bit right after this incursion because we have something important right down here. Nonetheless, this is the 15 minutes and we are flagging out, all right? So we need to be very patient in here. It seems like we have a rounded top, which is not good and not cool. And also we have put down a technical lower low. If we reject out of somewhere in here, technically creating a lower high, we're going to be into a pickle. Most likely, we're going to get all the way down there. Let me get this out of the way, and let's go to a higher time frame so we can see what am I talking about and where is that part. So there we go. It is like, and let me zoom out again. There it is. So right. So it's not about the breakout. It's about the retest, and then maybe off we go. Or it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and then off we go. To understand that, we need to look at our oscillator, right? Remember that we were waiting a flip of the ribbon. We don't have it just yet, so let's just aim at the 0 line for that possible flip of the ribbon. That usually means that we could be going maybe slightly lower, and the next lower support will be somewhere around 89,700. So be careful right there. We are into a resistance. I would say that your entry is already gone. It is right here if you wanted to jump for a long in here. Why? We already have been drawing these lines for a long time. In fact, we draw those lines all the way back in here. All right. So be careful at this point because we are in a very dangerous zone. And I think that we need to have a lot of momentum to start breaking through this area. I mean, who cares? I mean, we could be having a huge spike of volume and then having that momentum breaking through. But so far, it doesn't look like it, especially since we're having a bearish candle closeout at this moment. So be careful somewhere around here. And my next possible entry is going to be all around this area. So starting at 89,900 and ending at 88,700. That is because we already have some support in here and we have some other order blocks being built up on that area.
Those zones, OC, real fast, starts about $99,000 up to about $101,000 on the upside for liquidation heat map, and then the lower levels are about 82.7 is the start of that on the downside. So,
oh, nice. So basically, we're nailing it on the liquidations, right?
Yep, pretty much. It's good to get
nice. All right. Perfect. So, guys, look at just how looking at the charts, we can deduct any other things. And that's why it's important to have a crossover information to see if we have that confluence right there. And it seems like we're having it. So let's take a look at a couple of other things. Piper mentioned gold, right? I do have a little bit of a news in here. It says this is from FX, right? Street. I do follow these guys. Go check them out. They have a great Forex, crypto, and metals, commodities news, but they also remember you need to cross-reference them, right? Gold rebound after a sharp decline, holds comfortably above 3,300. We'll see about that, my friend. 3,300 comfortably. Well, then I don't think there's nothing comfortable about that area. All right, let's go into the gold. Yesterday, when we were in Charter Hackers, we ended up doing another analysis for an update on where we left out in here, and we set up a couple of entries. Between those entries, and you can see it right here, I marked this area for my first entry and all the way down here for the secondary entry. So, let me just get rid of this. So as you can see, we did successfully made it in here, right, for a dead cat bounce, and then we're going lower. At this point, not a financial advice, but my suggestion will be, if you did not took profits in here to where you marked your head and shoulders shoulder, well, then it's already too late. Let it go. Take your profits if you still have some profits and aim for a possible breakout. Why? Because look at our number 2 here, right? I mean, remember that yesterday in here in the morning market report, we were talking about this possibility playing out right here on the dynamic reactor, and I still hold behind it, right? So our next possible entry, it is somewhere around 3,200 ish, right? We already have the flip of the ribbon. It is not as strong as I was expecting. So the next thing will be maybe a continuation downwards like that. And finally, the push that we are waiting for after we hit dynamic reactor. Again, dynamic reactor is not a for sure bounce, but as you can see, throughout history, dynamic reactor has been fire, right? I mean, even if when when we lose it, we lose it. We need to lose it with strength, right? It's not about the breakout, it's about your retest, and then off we go. Again, breakout, retest, off we go, so on and so forth. So even if we lose it, prepare for that retest, and you can make a profit out of the breakout of the dynamic reactor. If you don't have the dynamic reactor, follow us on the light class on Trading with OC, because I did a pseudo dynamic reactor, which we called it a SMA combo, and it works fantastically also with gold. So other than that, that's what I got, Piper. And then in the next round, I have another news about about Solana and Ethereum.
Awesome. Shout out to CJ Taylor, my bro. He's in here. Lunar Beach has made an interesting comment. He said, we complete wave 4 of the 5 wave impulse today. He's talking about Elliot wave theory. And then wave 5 to the upside will begin. Could begin, I think, is what we'll go with. It is wave theory, right? So, but there's been a lot of discussion going on back and forth about the Elliott wave theory of where Bitcoin is at right now. Did it do wave 5 and now we're going into an ABC correction to the downside? But there's several different types of correction. But is it going into a correction after the wave 5 has been completed already, or are we on wave 4 doing the pullback being wave 4 for the next move up being wave 5? Guys, if you want to know more about those Elliott wave counts, make sure you guys check out Lunar Beach's crypto at Markets After Dark right here on the Piper Academy Network every night, Sunday through Thursday, because he is looking at the Asian market open for Monday through Friday. See how that works? But also tomorrow, actually Today, Crypto Princess is doing a premiere video where she interviewed Coons Trading, who is an absolutely brilliant man when it comes to Elliott waves, and we'll be redirecting over to that video right after this. So just stay right here when we get done today. Don't go anywhere. You're going to redirect to go learn some very valuable information on Elliott waves, on where Coons thinks we're at in the market right now. I'm very interested to watch it, and I would love to see it. So shout out to Stupid Bitcoin also. Dude, you are in the house and you are very active today, so I appreciate seeing you in here, man. Zen, shout out to you. She asked for NASDAQ. Well, let's take a look at NASDAQ also when you're on that run, OC. Wave 4 still has more downside, in my opinion, is what Darren Does Things says, DDT. He made a comment about he's locked in on an interest rate in the UK at like 3.5%, I think he said. The house that I just bought, DDT, I picked it up on a assumption loan with a 2.75% interest rate. So and I don't have to pay the first 4 years of amortization. If you guys don't know what that is, it's where a bigger chunk of your payment goes towards interest than principal. It's very weighted heavy. So in the beginning of your 30-year mortgage, you're paying a lot more money on your interest than you are towards your principal. And ours is, we're assuming the loan 5 years into it, so we've erased that first 5 years of heavy interest payments. So I love it. I love it. We should do a class on financing on investing on homes and why you should hold them longer and stuff like that. I got a great guy that's a realtor that would probably be more than happy to jump in on a stream for that sometime in our class with Discord. So OC, let's go ahead and take a look at what you're seeing on the alt side. You said you had some stuff on Ethereum and Sol, and then we have a request for NASDAQ. So let's get all of that going here and let's see what you got, bro.
Absolutely. So I just see a couple of bullish Ethereum news. Ethereum's active address jumped 10% in the 48 hours, sorry, as Ethereum surge past key resistance. So that means that maybe we're coming that influx of data. We'll see, because remember that yesterday we left out at Ethereum for a possible breakout retest, right? I mean, the increase of address jumped 10%. That is, I mean, I'm not going to be doubting of it, right? But passing through key resistance, we'll see if that holds, and we'll see how that plays out, right? So let's go take a look at Ethereum here. All right, perfect. We have key resistance. Remember that? In fact, 2 days ago, oh man, I need to, there we go, much better. And so 2 days ago, we were talking about that, guys, this thing needs to jump. In fact, the morning market report takeover, which was Tuesday, I told you guys, Ethereum needs to break, needs to get out of their big AF body and do something, right? Or booty and do something. If not, I'm just gonna throw it into the trash. But at this point, at that same point, we have a breakout, and then what we have after a breakout, remember, it's not about the breakout, it's about your retest, and then off we go. Let's just take a look at our dynamic reactor. And by the way, if for some reason TradingView cuts your RAM on their servers and you have a runtime error, all right, like I did in a bit ago, just go into the settings, change something, change it back, click OK, and that'll force that indicator calculation once again into TradingView servers. And guess what we have? We have dynamic reactor. Not only we have dynamic reactor, we should have an order block. Oh, there we go, a previous weekly low, but also an order block, which, where are you, order block? Which I don't have on for some reason. Well, we should have an order block in there. I just saw it like yesterday at night, unless it's gone, but I don't think so. Well, let's just assume that we just have the previous weekly low. We have the support. We have dynamic reactor coming in strong. So we'll see. We need to have a place in here, our zero line. Let's go ahead and do it, 0. And then let's click OK, right click and lock it. And we want to see the flip of the ribbon bouncing up above our oscillator, right? So above the zero line in here. Let me just get rid of everything else so we can have a clean perspective. There we go. We need to see that flip of the ribbon to hold this area and then have the chance to put up a higher high. This is interesting because look at my support and resistance and look at the gap. Of course that I have another support and resistance in here, right? But based on the supports and resistance that I have, I mean the meaningful highs in here and the meaningful lows in here. So that means I might have a big movement, a little maybe flag in here in continuation for then the next whatever is going to happen, which I'm going to be calling for a double top at that area. So maybe Ethereum, man, I'm looking at maybe I on F Ethereum. I'll see if maybe I grab some of it for myself. We'll see. Turning it back to you, Piper.
Yeah, dude, I'm looking here at Matic. No joke. Have you looked at Matic today?
No, I haven't. Is it killing it?
Yeah, Matic is just absolutely crushing it, man. Check this thing out, dude. Now, mind you, we did already hit our take profit, our check marks, and our take profits, and all that have all triggered here. But this thing is running up hard right now on the 100-day simple moving average. You can see we had a nice bounce off of and retest on the quantum reactor, came in, broke above the dynamic reactor, the 50, and hit a reversal, said, nah, fam, we're going to keep going up. And then all of a sudden just rocketed up. I want to pull a fib here just to see what we're looking at on this previous range. Let's go down here. I want to see from here first. I want to see how it got its bounce at. Oh man, look at that golden pocket bounce. That's that's your level there that it got off of that level for support. And then I want to do another one and pull this here and see how that one's looking. Yeah, dude, I think I might be looking here on Matic for it to get up here to this 100-day level here. And if it rejects on that, it does a retest on it again, set up for a short on Matic because it is getting pretty hot right now and oversold. Let's go check it out on the daily here on 4 hour, but I'm gonna move it to the daily on Matic over here with my multi oscillator and see what this is looking like. Where you at, Matic? Matic's hiding from me. There we go. Just like its profits have this entire year for me. There you go. Dad jokes. Let's go check this out and see what we're seeing over here. Yeah, we're getting pretty hot over here on the daily too. So not just the 4 hour that's showing that. We've already triggered on the Oscillator Pro as being overbought heavily. Power bar hasn't started to fire off yet, which would be in that range. I might do a 2-part entry on a short for this, man. About a 5x leverage setup. I may go in and do this today. Set up part 1 here on the 100-day like that. Bring it down to the 50. And then we'll set our stop loss above because we're going to do a second entry on this. Let me get that one. Do a second entry on the dynamic reactor there. So then obviously you would average out on those two for your stop loss above. So that might be the setup I'm looking at on Matic today, man. But man, this thing is just taking off out of nowhere today. OC, what do you got for us? Let's kick it back over to you. We got about 23 more before we head over to Crypto Princess. So let's see what you got.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at here at Bunk at these areas. And yesterday we were talking about Bunk and how easy peasy that lemon squeezy that trade played out, right? So remember also in trading with OC yesterday night, we talked about this trend line and also how to follow along this. Let me just clear this up so we have a better perspective, right? Remember that we always want to start with one-on-one trading trend lines, right? It's not about your breakout, it's about your retest, and off we go. After then confirming that you have a lower high, then most likely you already have enough points of confidence to create a trend line. And guess what we got in here? It's not about your breakout, it's about your retest. Or if you rather wait for that other retest, remember the higher that we go, the higher that retest is going to get, right? So let's drop down here a couple of support and resistances. There we go. We are on resistance. Maybe a good area to maybe try to short it with a quarter of a position. Why? Because we're having a goose head. Last time we had a goose head in here, oh boy, that was a big goose head here that played out very nice with no retracement, all right? So be careful here. We might even go all the way here before we have the retracement. So should you be longing the tops? Of course not. Should you be longing what? The retracements. If you don't have a retracement, well, then we don't long it. If we don't have signs of flipping back down, we don't short it, all right? So far, we're standing by for a possible entry here. We already have broken the trend line and standing for that breakout retest. Passing over to you, Piper. And at the end of the show, I want to talk about a little bit of politics that happened here in Mexico, just for you guys to have the heads up on what could happen, right? It's not that far away from your reporters. But other than that, please go ahead and I don't know, you were doing the analysis, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at someone said something about it's moving with Ethereum, the layer twos, which does make sense. But I went over and looked at ETH versus Bitcoin, and you can see it's actually in the negative. It's down 1.10%, 1.1%. If we look at Matic versus Bitcoin, it's actually quite a bit better. So, in relation to Bitcoin's movement, Ethereum very, very weak. Polygon Matic very, very strong. So, I don't know that it's directly correlating with that. There must have been some news or something on it. I don't have my news turned on, but it's very interesting what's going on with Polygon Matic right now. OC, I need you to do NASDAQ. We had a request for NASDAQ. You want to pull that up?
Absolutely, my pleasure. I'll do it right away. Perfect. So just making sure that I got the Nasdaq from the beginning of from TradingView. There we go. Still within the same areas that we were talking about, right? So basically creating a symmetrical triangle. We had a gap in here, and remember that based on that gap, we were expecting to be filled up sooner than later. Remember that when we chart these triangles, all right, the triangle, the actual goal on those triangles, it is within its boundaries, right? Where do we have the boundaries in here? And why is that? Because we can trade the inside, or we can have breakouts out of those bands or those triangular patterns, right? Not only that, we also have a support line in here that goes through here and goes through here. There we go. That is right in line. We're very close to our other trend line right here. All right. So what are we seeing? This entry is still valid so far. We're going to be riding across this border, but not for now. We still need to find that rejection. All right. At this point, what seems like is that we are just turning green. So most likely this entry that is still valid might get canceled, but we'll have to wait. Why? Because if we go up and then reverse, then most likely we're going to have a fake out, and then our entry is going to play it out fantastically, right? But instead, if we do have enough momentum, which at this point just a news or something special might drive this up, I don't think so. But if we have enough volume here, we might be able to break through the equilibrium, go hit dynamic reactor. And if we hit dynamic reactor, this entry is no longer valid. All right, let me just get rid of that. Why? Because previous resistance now becomes new support. And then remember trend lines. Right now, we could be forming another very important trend line in here that can go farther up to these previous highs. So that's what I got for NASDAQ. Let me just leave it as is for now, and I'm going to keep track of NASDAQ. I'm not going to be trading NASDAQ, just going to be using it as an equilibrium point.
Yeah, that's what I watch it for. That tech sector and Bitcoin pretty much go lock in step. So a lot of times when you see that wavering or that strength on the tech sector, typically Bitcoin's moving with it. So OC, what do you got for us, man? You said you had something to do with Mexican politics. It's not as good as Mexican tacos, but we'll go with it. What do you got for us on this political front?
Man, they both are made of dog, bro. So, but when you eat them, they taste good. All right.
The politics. You didn't tell me that when I was down in Cozumel, man.
Well, I mean, it will change the taste on your mind. So first you need to eat it, and then I would go, was that good? All right, that was dog. No, just kidding.
I will point out you did push me towards shrimp a lot for some reason. So maybe that's it. So what you got for us, OC?
All right, guys. So yesterday, somewhere around 9 a.m., they passed a new bill that adds to our constitution, right? Constitutional right to own pew-pews, all right? This actually bans everything, above 5.5 or 22 LR. And then also restricts anything that has to do with air. That means gotcha. That means any sports, they get restricted. Also, it hasn't been published in as for a law start taking action, but anything that changes or improve a pew function will be banned. That means handles, that means sites, that means whatever. So at this point, guys, they passed it saying that this is going to be cutting down all the illegal arms that come from the states. All right. But that is not truth. That is only restricting people that have legally owned pew-pews, right? And they have it on order. So also another thing that they passed was if you cannot afford to be subscribed to a shooting range, well then you're gonna be fined for owning that pew-pew, or you need to go and give it away to the other to the army. And can we go to my really quick to my here? Thank you so much. This is one of the guys, and this is what's important to keep an eye on your congressman. This is a congressman voting in favor of that. He posted himself. His name is Ricardo Mejia Bardeja, right? He posted himself, and right here he's explaining what he think he voted for, but that it has nothing to do. I actually went and told him, you know what? Clearly, you do not read the reform, and you are an incompetent. Please get your renounced. So just that's it. I'm just gonna leave it till there. So guys, please, 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 this hurts me in the bottom of my soul when we see that we're getting the few things that we can do against criminals, right, taken away. And then even sports, man. I do love hydrogel wars with my friends. I do enjoy Nerf fighting with my friends. And now I won't be able to do that. Not even anything that has to do with her. So that's all I got, Piper. Turning it back to you, my friend.
That's horrible, man. That is horrible. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You just move to the U.S. Just move to the U.S.
I might try to. I'm gonna make my passport this week, and maybe my visa this upcoming month. We'll see.
You go. There you go. Before we leave, I got to share some good news with you guys. All the bad news, all the macro stuff that we're looking at all the time. It's nice to see something that warms the heart. So, you guys know my dog is in service dog training. She's in week 5 right now. Next week is week 6, and she will be graduating next week. But got a video sent to us yesterday. So one of the things, her actual task is to recognize and identify when someone's having PTSD, anxiety, type trigger. And so this is a video. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up here of her yesterday going through a. So
before I start, just want to make a notation. This is with her soft collar. It is still a slip collar, but it's a soft collar, meaning that there's no pinch or little nip that a prong is supposed to present. It should remind them of their mother when they were a pup correcting them. But she's just awesome, and we want to continue using the slip, the soft collar as much as possible. Gypsy heel. Good girl. Gypsy heel. Good girl. Gypsy down. Stay.
And there you go. She went over, immediately started to make sure that she stays on him, and was doing her thing. So yeah, pretty cool to see her doing all of these recognitions and trigger setups and stuff. So wanted to share that with you guys. Gypsy doing some awesome stuff. So OC, I think we got time here for like one more segment. It's about 8:49. So what else are you watching on the charts? And let's get in. My kitty does that without training. No, that's because your kitty is an annoying Velcro animal that will make you give her attention whether you're busy or not. I love cats, but they definitely operate on their own schedule. Like, I want attention. I'm busy right now. I don't care. Close the computer. So, OC, what do you got on your charts, bro?
Absolutely. Looking at Atom Cosmos, it actually, once I start just going off of it, right, that damn, this is one of the things I really want to move, and then it moved. And of course, it did not trigger my entry. So look at that, man. I mean, I am so don't want to talk about it, but at the same time, I'm also very interested in this. So let's go ahead and throw one of our trend lines in here. And then, of course, let's make it a channel, right? So let's make that a channel. It's not about the breakout, right? It's about your retest, and then off we go. We are on reversal zones, right? We're still on reversal zones, but seems like we are pushing to the upside in here. So we need to be a little bit careful now, but seems like we might be able to catch a possible retracement. How would that retracement look like? Well, then I believe that we might have a pump and dump, so maybe a little bit higher than the dump, maybe taking it all in, or everything that took, giving it all out, then looking for that possible retracement, and off we go. So once again, I'm going to be looking for this same channel because if we close inside, most likely I'm going to hit the bottom of that channel. But if we bounce out of the top, most likely we're going to keep going faster and be taking this other side. So possibly at a 10x leverage, we could be looking at somewhere around 106% gains on one position if everything goes according to plan. If we go even lower, well, I didn't think that we're going to be breaking, but we're going to stay at the same around the same ballpark of profits for the possible trade. So still, this is a work in progress. You guys need to be aware of this, and remember, try to get into the retracement. Not financial advice, but I'm looking at Adam so far.
Awesome. Jumping over here, we just got a news alert while we were live from the Kabisi letter. Said President Trump is set to speak at 12 p.m. today. We expect something bullish there. What he's talking about is that the markets are now up after opening in the red. They were red this morning on futures. They opened kind of flat. NASDAQ was the only one that's up. Now we're starting to get some move up on the markets. Markets are up over 1% on the day with no news at all. We've seen this multiple times this year. It almost feels like someone is front running something right now. We expect to see some sort of bullish announcement soon. And so 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be about an hour and 9 minutes, hour and 8 minutes from now. We're going to have President Trump set to speak. So guys could get a bullish move here today on the markets. Just be aware, be prepared. You can see here we were at this rejection of the 382. Now we are starting to get a little move up to the upside, and it looks like the oscillator ribbon about to do a flip up here. Money is flat, so it can easily flip back up right now, being flat on the money flow, but volume is dropping a little bit. So if it becomes a nothing burger, watch for a liquidity sweep and then an immediate pullback to the downside, guys. That is what we're seeing here on the news that has come out while we've been live and what I'm watching on the charts today. So if it's bullish, could be the run to make. If it's bearish, could be an excellent short setup. That is today's markets for you right there. Anything at the power of a tweet or a microphone or an announcement, everything could be just another bull run or another suckers rally or another dump or whatever you want to call it. Gotta love the markets in these conditions, man. What is the VIX looking like right now? I want to see if we're getting any volatility on the index before we go. U.S. VIX is still sitting at 27.38, so no change there on the volatility index. But the markets are all flipped back green now. Dow Jones, S&P, NASDAQ, Russell 2K, all just running to the upside, while Bitcoin is also showing that same strength. So, be aware, be prepared. Want you guys to, not get caught with your pants down here at the seaside in this tide. So that's about all we got time for today, guys. About to run over and raid on a premiere with Crypto Princess. Coons Trading is going to be over there. It's going to be awesome to see. So shout out to everybody that joined us here today. We appreciate you guys always. And, we'll keep you guys updated on what we see on the markets throughout X. So follow us there and in the Discord. So, OC, what do you got for these people? Tell them what happens if they hit that like button.
I was waiting for this moment because I caught something on your X. So, and I need to come up clean. It also appears on mine, so we're in the same ballpark. All right, so guys, click that like button because if you do, next time you do it, new, hot, stiff, muscle men torsos are gonna appear on the you may like thing next to your go check it out, man. It also appears on mine. I don't know why the hell I was trying to hide it from from the show, but there is like a man torso, muscled man, like almost shining stuff. All right, But whoever
Are you
that
talking
is-
about? Are you talking about this?
No, it was another. No, a little bit higher that you may like. Oh, there it is. There he is. There it is. Yeah,
Who?
higher.
Oh, Zero
Look
Hedge.
at that.
Yeah, it's Zero Hedge, man. You don't follow Zero Hedge? I don't
No.
follow him. But I read his stuff all the time. So, hey, some people
Too
like
much
to
muscle on
have their manly photos. You know, hey, go for it. Go for it.
Absolutely.
OC. So if you smash like, you'll get that too. I love it. All right, guys, we're about to head out of here and raid over there at Crypto Princess. Just stay tuned right here. We will see you guys over there in their chat. When you get over there, drop some graduation cash. I appreciate all of you guys. Coon's trading interview. We're going to see what he has to say about the Elliot wave theory and the current market structure of Bitcoin. So we'll catch you guys here tomorrow morning. Don't forget, tune in. OC Trades Live tonight. Also, Markets After Dark tomorrow morning. BC Port Corp right here on the Piper Academy Network with Good Morning Crypto. We'll be back at 10 a.m. Until then, trade safe. And as always, use some risk management. Later, guys. Thanks.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels. You can't handle the truth. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. Boom shakalaka! We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my love, now you know what I mean. You can't handle the truth.
That was awesome, dude.